Welcome to the Crack House Chronicles, your favorite true crime podcast. I am Donnie, and with me is a man that wants everyone to know that when you tell somebody, don't take this the wrong way, it has 0 success rate. This Dale.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this agrees up because it ain't going to be good.
No, it's not good. That's about as bad as telling your wife to calm down.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
Never.
Never. So that does not work.
Never.
No, don't take this the wrong way.
No.
But.
Yeah, but here it comes.
Yeah, it ain't going good.
No, never.
What's going on today with you, dude?
Well, I would say same old, but it's kind of been a rough week for me, man. I lost one of my best friends this week.
Oh,
he's been fighting that damn cancer, for a while, but I did get to go see him a couple of days before he passed away, and I gave him a big hug and told him I loved him. So when he passed away, it was devastating, but at least I got that,
Yeah, you got that, man.
His name was Eddie Blanton. We've been friends for as long as I can remember, and I guess that's the bad thing about getting older, man. Start losing friends. It cuts a little deep, but I don't want to get in a bad groove here, but I do think that I need to mention that because I loved him, man.
Yeah, I could tell you a couple days this week you were down and out. Yep.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Just let you do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you.
You got any good shout-outs for anybody you want to talk about before we get going, dude?
Well, on another note, look at there.
Oh, man.
Coming in to make us feel a little better this week.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this comes from Texas, being it says Texas Shrink. So we have a brand new Apple 5-star.
5-star.
Review coming in here from Texas Shrink, and if you're a shrink, maybe I need to holler at you. Just kidding. Anyway, it says 5 mother trucking stars, and that is so cool. Anyway, one of my favorite podcasts. I am kind of a true crime connoisseur, and you guys are the bee's knees.
We're the bee's knees.
We are. Man. So keep up the good fight. And that that comes from Texas Shrink. Ain't that cool, man?
I love it.
Keep
Mother trucking.
I love that.
Yeah.
That needs to be a shirt.
Yeah, when I first saw that review, I had to look at it twice.
It's like, wait a minute, what does that say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I love it.
I love it, too.
Yeah, good. Put a little smile on the face at the end of the week here is good.
Yeah, that's it, man.
And I think this show is going to be good, and it'll get us in a good groove going forward, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, we got a good episode this week.
Oh, for sure.
And when we get back from this short break, we're going to get into it, dude.
Let's do it.
All right, Dale, we are back. And, man, we got a good episode this week.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
We have had a theme going where we talk to different people who help law enforcement in a lot of different ways, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little side thing for really our education and, just a different arm of what we do, I think.
Exactly.
I think it pulls in. I think it brings a lot of information that people otherwise wouldn't get.
Yeah. We interviewed Dave Bryant. He is a polygraph examiner out of the state of Florida.
Yeah, that was 190.
Yeah, episode 190, yeah.
Man, he was a cool guy, yeah.
Yeah, and he actually corrected me on not calling it a lie detector, but calling it a polygraph.
Correct.
So
yeah, I think scold is more.
He scolded me good. And then we interviewed Jason Ferguson. He is a canine trainer.
Yes,
here
extraordinary.
Here in North Carolina, just out of Charlotte.
Yeah, that was 200.
Yeah.
Episode 200, yeah.
Training canines for law enforcement.
And that was really cool to learn a lot about that.
Yeah, how that works and how they train the dogs and stuff. Man, it's just amazing what all they can do. And we're returning with this theme today.
Yeah.
Because we've got a couple guys on the show who are local here where we are here in Cleveland County, North Carolina. And they are part of Crimestoppers. And I saw these guys here in the parade, local parade here. And I saw them, Crimestoppers. I don't know anything about Crimestoppers at all.
I know, but you always hear it pop up in, almost every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I reached out to them to see if they would come on the show, see if somebody would talk to us and learn a little bit more. And lo and behold, Jeff Yates, he's with Crimestoppers. He replied back to me, and just a little bit on Jeff Yates. He is a retired police officer. He's from Bettendorf, Iowa, after 35 years of service. And here in Cleveland County, North Carolina, he's volunteered for the Shelby Police Department for the past 9 years and working with Crimestoppers since 2022. And also we've got on the show today Sergeant Brad Benson.
Whoa.
He is a veteran police officer with several years and has served in multiple roles in his employment with the Shelby PD. He's also served as detective and then patrol sergeant after his promotion. And he's been with Crimestoppers for a while, and he's also on the board of directors too.
Oh, cool.
So these guys, they know about Crimestoppers.
They know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they know way
the
more.
Real deal.
Way more than we do.
We don't know nothing, so give a little more credit now.
So we want to welcome Jeff Yates and Sergeant Brad Benson to the show. Welcome, guys.
Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you very much. We're glad to be here.
So just a little bit of background on you guys. I'll give a little bit of basic info, but Jeff, tell us a little bit more about you and how you got involved with Crime Stoppers, man.
Well, actually, it happened after I retired, and myself and my wife moved here to Shelby for retirement, and we started doing some volunteer work for Shelby Police, and all non police related type volunteer work. And we happened to be walking through the station one day, and Chief Ledford, who was chief at the time, caught us walking through there and asked my wife and I if we would help actually Detective Benson at the time, to try to get the Crime Stoppers program back up and running. It had faded away in early 2017 here in Cleveland County. And he was very interested in getting it back up and running again, and knew with my background that I might be able to help out with that. And as it turns out, that wasn't necessarily true, because where I worked, we didn't use Crime Stoppers, so I actually had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. But the good part about it was that Brad Benson, Detective Benson, didn't either. So the department ended up sending the three of us to training by the state board, and we all three were very impressed with what we'd learned and came back and got going with it, and here we are today.
What about you, Sergeant Benson? How'd you get in? Well, a little bit more background on you, and how'd you get involved with it, Crime Stoppers?
Yes, so it was 2022. At the time, I was a detective here at Shelby Police Department. As Mr. Yates stated, I was approached by the former Chief Lefford. He asked me if I would be willing to help revive Crime Stoppers that faded away in 2017 with the assistance of Mr. Yates and Miss Yates. I told him absolutely. So during that time, me and Mr. Yates came together. We went to a training conference in 2022. We gathered a lot of information that we did not know. As Mr. Yates stated, we didn't know a lot about Crime Stoppers, the mission behind it, and what all of that entails during that time. But once we gathered the information, we came back, we did a lot of brainstorming, and we've seen a lot of success since we came together and helped revive the Crime Stoppers organization.
Do you guys know why it kind of faded away in 2017?
Just some speculation on our part. They actually did quite a nice job of doing what they were doing at the time, but I don't know if it was potentially some complacency with the board members. The nice thing about the whole thing is that Rick Washburn, who's known by a lot of people here, at least in Shelby, was the treasurer at that time, and he kept up our 501c3 status with the IRS and everything, and all the funds that they had certainly at that time, they were still there. So we were able to hit the ground running when we did get started again in 23. But yeah, I really don't know exactly what happened in 2017, but I have a feeling it actually started prior to that. Yeah. And things just don't evaporate overnight normally and something like that.
Right. So,
well, we're glad it's back up and running now for sure.
Yeah, good thing for Jeff.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. How did Crime Stoppers become about? How did it get started?
How did it originate? Yeah,
originate.
Well, it started in 1976 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and it's a nationwide program here, but it is also international. There's programs in Canada and Australia and the United Kingdom. Obviously, the United States programs are far more prevalent than any of the other countries there. But locally, we operate under the umbrella of the North Carolina Crime Stoppers Association. We are basically given free reins to run our program as everybody else is across the country, the way that we see fit.
Oh.
And but their job is to help us out with anything that we need help with. And I might add that Sergeant Benson ended up being elected to the state board at the last training conference. So we have a sitting member right now from the association. Not only is on our board of directors, but he's with the state.
So we have some local input from right here that's there that can help out.
Well, congrats on that, man. That's
Absolutely. So let's talk about Crime Stoppers and how it works just a little bit. You know, Jeff, you and I talked last week, and there's many ways that people can phone in tips and different things like that, or give tips. What are some of the ways that people can give tips if they see something or know something?
Well, I'm going to start off the answer to that question, and then I'm going to hand it over to Sergeant Benson there, because he not only in his role of law enforcement coordinator for our program, he's very up on the P3 tips management system that we use.
Okay.
Cool, yeah.
You're correct. We do still have the phone line that's available, and it is answered at Shelby Police Dispatch. We know that we have a lot of people that are a generation older than what we are right now, and they're not real savvy a lot of times with smartphones and things of that nature. So we wanted to make sure that tip line is still available, and it is.
That's smart.
Yeah. The thing that I'm going to have Sergeant Benson talk to you about is the P3 tips management system, and that's the one that we really are trying to push to get people that do want to give anonymous information to use that system, because it doesn't matter if they don't end up eventually taking any reward money, but they know that this is a very secure system, and they're going to be completely anonymous the entire time through. So I'm going to let Brad go ahead and talk to you about that.
Okay.
All right. So yes, the tip management system that we use for our organization is called the P3 Tips. So when you think about Crime Stoppers as a whole, from the time it originated back in 1976, the way that tipsters could call in and provide information was through the hotline or tipster phone line. So in today's society, technology has rapidly advanced. So the purpose for this new tip management system was to find a way to engage the community better, make them feel comfortable with providing law enforcement with information. In previous years, or I'll say back in the day, it was common for the community and law enforcement to talk face to face. There was a comfort level back in the day. But in today's society, for some reason, or a lot of reasons, the community, the trust between the community and law enforcement has went away. But this tip management system here, it gives them a way to engage with law enforcement, not face to face, but by scanning a QR code, logging into the system, and anonymously submitting information. So the P3 Tips, the benefit of this system, it's available as a free download either through the Apple App Store or Google Play. So whether you have an iPhone or Android, you can still download the P3 Tips app. The tipsters, they can send criminal information and engage in anonymous two-way dialogue between themselves and law enforcement. So once the tipster logs in, they can begin at that time. They can send information. They can send pictures, screenshots, videos, audio files, whatever they have related to their tip. They can send that to law enforcement. And during that time, law enforcement, they can have the ability to engage dialogue through a chat in the system.
Oh, wow. So let's stop right there for a second, because that's a lot of information. That's really cool. I didn't know that. I mean, I knew that you had an app, and I knew you could text stuff in, but I didn't know you could do all that with the videos and audio files and about anything. That is really advanced.
Yeah.
A lot more than a phone call, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yes, and one thing to add, once the tipster scans the QR code and they're logged into the P3 Tips app system, they're automatically assigned what's called a P3 Tipster ID number. So this is the way you remain anonymous. We don't know who we're engaging with. We don't know whether you're male, female, young, old. We just know the individual based off their tipster ID number. So from the start, they're issued that tipster ID number. They provide all of the tip information. They have the ability to provide whatever they would like. If that tip results in an arrest, we then will reach back out to them, send them the tipster ID number that they will already have, provide information on how they can retrieve their awards, or reward, excuse me. And we operate through Fidelity Bank here in Shelby, North Carolina. They take the tipster ID number to the bank. They present the tipster ID number, and at that point, they are able to retrieve their.
Yeah, very, very cool. So they don't, as far as face-to-face with law enforcement, there's no connection there at all. It's all anonymous, anonymity, totally. Yeah.
Yes, complete anonymous throughout from start to finish.
Yeah, see,
we only know the person through the tipster ID number.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. I didn't know how they would get their money if it was a reward or anything.
Right, like eventually you'd have to show up and go in and get it.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people were like, on the fence about the anonymous thing, especially through, the internet, because they're like, well, I don't know, they might say it is, and it might be, but I think they could find out if they wanted to. They probably, I don't know, but I think a lot of people think that. So, maybe it's a lot more secure than people think.
Well, and I think that's probably a very good point. We try to attend as many events and things of that nature, especially when the weather is cooperating during the summer. And we try to attend as many of those as we can for educational purposes, if nothing else, just to get people that are always interested and come over to the table and see what kind of handouts are available. But it's all educational. I think in Cleveland County, the fact that it had faded away in 2017, there were several years of nothing going on, and if you don't keep in people's faces on it, so to speak, they forget.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're experiencing at this point. We're making some great strides through social media and soon to be a website, but we got to keep after it, and that's why things like your podcast are important to us.
Okay, just so hypothetically speaking, let's say if somebody submits a tip and they are maybe part of a crime, how does that work if they're linked to something and they just want to give some information or tip off somebody they were involved with on a crime? How does that work?
Wait, are you saying they're telling on themselves or they're telling on their accomplice?
Yeah, telling on their accomplice,
okay.
or they, they're involved some way, but then they're letting some information out. Is there any way to, how do you guys vet that kind of information? Or can you?
Well, we've been asked that question before, and bottom line is in Cleveland County, the top dollar that we pay is up to $1,000. So I guess if somebody wanted to try to pull a scam over on Crimestoppers, is it worth the $1,000 that you potentially, that would be for a homicide more than likely.
Yeah.
But would it be worth that with the absolute probability that you're going to jail too? So I'm not sure that that's really worth it for anybody to try any type of a scam on Crimestoppers. So
yeah.
To my knowledge, we've not had that happen or attempt to happen to us so far. But I have been asked that question before.
Okay.
So when you said the $1,000 would probably be for a homicide, so are depending on the crime is what the reward is? Is that how that works?
Yeah, so Sergeant Benson can explain a little bit of that to you, how that works.
Okay, I ain't trying to take it down the wrong road, but stuff pops in my head and I have to ask her, I forget.
That's fine.
That's okay. So what we operate off of is a reward criteria schedule. So whenever a tipster submits a tip that results in an arrest, we have monthly board meetings. So during the meetings, we look at this reward point scale. So the way the schedule works, it starts from the smallest misdemeanor up into the most serious felony. Based off of the amount of points that the tipster accumulates, that determines how much money we're going to disseminate. And the way we divide that up is whether it's a contributing award, impactful award, substantial award, or the full award. And those categories is just based upon how much information assists in the investigation.
Uh,
So, for instance, a full reward would be, let's say we have a murder happen here in Shelby. We don't have any leads. This tipster provides us with every piece of information that we need from start to finish that results in an arrest. That tipster would be eligible for a full reward. Another example would be, let's say, for the contributing award. Let's say we have a crime that we've already secured warrants, and the tipster may just provide us with the suspect's name, or may have video or something. They contributed to that investigation, so therefore they don't get the full reward, but they get a partial award.
Okay, so it's kind of like a merit system gimmick where,
right.
the more help you provide, the better you're rewarded. So,
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense.
oh, yeah, because, if I seen Joe steal a beer out of the store and I told him that's different, and I seen Joe gunning down his neighbor in his front yard.
Yeah, it's a lot different. Yeah, totally different.
Well, and it wouldn't be uncommon to receive multiple tips on the same crime.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Likely in that case, there's going to be a variety of information that the police will be sifting through. And we do have a detective from whatever department was involved in that particular crime to come to our monthly board meeting at that point and explain just exactly what information was provided by what tipster number and how that impacted the investigation and the eventual arrest.
Oh, that's a great point. I wouldn't even think about that. So if something would have happened in a neighborhood and you had several people, you have to actually go through and investigate that to see which one came in and which one gave you the best information.
Yeah, and that's very true. I mean, the simple fact that somebody calls in a tip does not necessarily mean that they're going to earn some money immediately.
Right.
This is designed so that it gives the police hopefully the information they need to investigate that particular allegation that the tip is given about.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are not valid information. Some of them are given on information that the police already had. But the fun part about it was, as you mentioned, that if we're able to get information given on a crime that the police had a dead end on, and this solved it, that's where it becomes real fun.
Yeah. How does Crimestoppers get their funding for the rewards?
We are completely reliant on donations and grants. So we are very conscious about the fact that we have no budget. We have no way of knowing how much we're going to spend from day to day, month to month, or year to year. It all depends on the type of crime that happens in Cleveland County and then the subsequent tips that may or may not be given to the police. And do the tipsters even care about the reward money? Most of them don't. They just want the ability to stay anonymous and do the right thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But bottom line is we can't count on everybody doing that, so we have to make sure that we have a constant cash flow.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, we do everything that we can for fundraising and grants, as I said. So if we don't, we could get in trouble with things that all of a sudden is an avalanche of tips that we need to pay out. So not trying to say that we are not covered for any of that right now, because we absolutely are. But that's what we do. We ask people for money. That's it.
Well, that's good to know because, I had no idea if it was, state funded, city funded, but it's neither. It's people funded, basically, by your hard work.
Exactly. Let's talk about the app just a little bit. If I put on the app on my phone and let's say
you're at the beach.
Yeah, I go to Myrtle Beach and I see something go down and I take a picture of it or a video of it and I upload it to the app while I'm there. Does it go to the local law enforcement there, or how does that work?
It's just based on where the Crimestoppers organization, if there's a Crimestoppers organization at the beach, If there's not, then the best bet for you would be to contact the local law enforcement.
Yeah.
The P3 system, it's only beneficial for the Crime Stoppers organizations that have the program. Because most counties within North Carolina does not use, at this time, the P3 tips management system. But this can only be used in certain counties within North Carolina that currently has the P3 tips.
Okay. Same scenario. If you called Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS, does that just go to a mainframe somewhere and then they distribute as needed?
Here at Cleveland County, if you contact the tipster hotline number, Shelby Dispatch is responsible for taking the call. It's going to be an anonymous tip line. They provide the information, and since I am the law enforcement coordinator, they immediately send me that information, and I can either create a tip MP3 tips management system, or two, I can just provide that information through email to the appropriate law enforcement agency.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Cleveland County, we cover the 4 agencies: Shelby Police Department, Cleveland County Sheriff's Office, Kings Mountain Police Department, and Boiling Springs Police Department.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, Jeff, you told me the other day about there's Crime Stoppers posters in schools and stuff, and y'all go around to schools and educate students on this kind of stuff.
So what, has got a QR code on the poster?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah, very, very cool.
We have made a very nice poster that is available, and we make available to Cleveland County school system each start of each year since we've been going, and they put those and post them in all of the schools in Cleveland County. It's a little bit more easier to read and quicker for the students to read if they need to, and of course the QR code is displayed on everything that we hand out.
Very, very cool.
Smart.
Yeah, and so the school system here in Cleveland County has been very receptive to doing that. We have not done any educational meetings or anything in any of the schools. Not that we wouldn't, but we just have not at this point done that. But the posters are predominantly displayed at entry doors. Donnie, you and I talked on the phone there the other day that it is geared also towards the school system, where a student can access the P3 system, just exactly how we've been talking about, and go directly to that point there where there's a bullying issue or some type of a potential violent act going to occur, or something of that nature. It allows the students to be anonymous and get that information out there immediately. And I think I also mentioned to you that there are multiple administrators from each of our 4 departments that have access to the P3 system on their cell phones. So when a tip comes in, there's multiple police eyes throughout Cleveland County that are seeing that. May not have anything to do with that particular department, but everybody sees it. And I think that's a very important aspect of it too, particularly when you're talking about school safety.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you know that there's going to be some mutual aid between departments in Cleveland County that are going to assist if need be for an incident at any given school.
So that notification is going to be on some eyes, and people can see that, and somebody can respond to that pretty quick.
Right away, yeah.
Officers respond immediately particularly on something like that. So
that's cool that it's now instant, instead
Yeah.
of having to go somewhere and then somebody has to type it out and hand it out, or whatever they used to do, write it down, and then pass it along. So you're getting like stuff as it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's no age limit on using the app or anything like that. It's anybody can download the app and use it, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Once you scan the QR code, it takes you directly to the web tip form for Cleveland County, and therefore at that point you can submit your tip, add your tip information, and submit it. There's no age limit.
Yeah, that's awesome. We will definitely put this information out there on our socials and on our stuff that we have for this QR code and this app that people can download and use. This is awesome, guys.
Yeah, it's great information. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know all this stuff. So let's talk a little bit about data and stuff. You know, information coming in. Is it a constant flow of calls and tips, or does it ebb and flow? What's the data look like when y'all get tips?
Yes, so we first went live with the P3 tip system. We installed it March the 15th, 2023.
Oh, that's new then, yeah.
So at that point, we began receiving all tips through the P3 tip system. Since 2023, we have received a few call-in tips through the hotline, but I would say at least 95% of all tips have come directly through the P3 tip system. So as far as statistics, from that date, March the 15th, 2022, up until today's date, January 31st, 2025, we have accumulated a total of 246 tips. We've had 12 arrests out of those 246 tips. 6 cases were cleared. The amount of rewards money approved and disseminated to the tipsters is $1,333. Excuse me, $1,338. The amount of drugs seized is $42,125, and weapons recovered. We've recovered 2 weapons.
Holy cow!
Wow.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of success. I will say, prior to getting the P3 tips, we were averaging, I would say, maybe 5 tips a year during my time here at Shelby Police Department before we revitalized Crimestoppers. I would say we probably getting 5 tips a year.
Yeah.
So from 5 tips to 246 tips, that's a big jump.
Yeah.
And I would say Crimestoppers has been very beneficial.
Yeah, I think the app is a very good idea because, you know, most young people now don't even want to talk to their friends on the phone, much less call a tip line. But, you know, they're all about some apps and texting and stuff like that. So it's really smart thinking to go this route.
Very forward thinking. So another thing I wanted to ask, too, and if there's some information you guys can't give, that's okay. But, you know, last fall we had a surge with the Yates and Sgt case. There was a search warrant that was served. Was there any more tips that came in more during that time on that, or
Are you saying the numbers got bigger all of a sudden?
Yeah. Did any tips come in on that that you could tell? I mean, I don't want no specifics or anything. Just
numbers.
Numbers, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just say there was a lot of tip information that came in during that time.
Okay.
Great.
Sir.
So let me ask another question about the funding part of it. You know, you said you guys are out there, you know, raising money for this. What are some of the ways people can contribute?
Well, the easiest one is right now has been set up on our Facebook page. There is a nice, pretty blue donate button.
Okay.
On the top of the page there, right below the logo. And we can accept money through PayPal. We also have a Venmo account, and it's easily accessed through the Venmo. And we have received donation money through that platform as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to add just before we get too far down the road that your Facebook page is Cleveland County Crimestoppers Incorporated, correct?
Yes, that's the name of our program here is Cleveland County Crimestoppers Inc. Actually.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure everybody went to the right place. If they wanted to donate, yeah. And
we'll
we'll share
absolutely
that.
be advertising that when it does go live on the website there. We will absolutely be making sure that people know that we do have that website, and that's also going to have a way to donate on that too. I'm sure that it's going to go ahead and go through PayPal, and that's fine as well. We also have a P.O. box that we do business from. It's P.O. Box 1613, Shelby, and the zip is 28151. And we certainly would, it wouldn't hurt our feelings to get donations by the U.S. Postal Service. That would be good too.
Yeah. Is there a way to check data on how many people download your app for this? Can you check that stuff?
No, as far as I know, we cannot check how many downloads of the app that we've got.
Yeah. I just didn't know how many reports you guys get from schools and things if students are using this more. Or is there a way to tell what level of crimes are being reported as far as age groups that you might know of?
No, it's the tips that we receive is broken down. It's a list of like 10 different crimes. Usually if the crime that you're reporting or giving tip information to, if it's not in that list, we have a category that's called other. So you would check the other block and provide any information that you would like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we don't have a way as far as to determine what age group is using the app or the amount of downloads for the app.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just able to see all of the statistics, the type of tip, and the information provided.
Get right to the source and get the crime solved. I get it, but
Yeah, and it would be nice if we could get that information. I do know that if you're going to be talking about the school system, that they do have their own app. I think a brand new one this year too, and I'm positive that has to do a portion of it anyhow to dedicated to reporting things that are of a security issue or safety issue.
Yeah.
For the kids that are at school. If nothing else, Crimestoppers is at least another tool that can be used for that purpose, and we obviously pay for successful information where the others don't. So, and again, we don't have any idea who our tipster is, and really don't care. That's fine.
Yeah. So you're saying that there's a different app for the students, or is it all the same?
He's talking about the school itself has their own app.
Okay.
It's not affiliated.
Okay.
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did see that Cleveland County Schools had done a pretty good job with a new app that just came out this school year. So from a little bit that I've looked at it there, it looks pretty good. So they can do a whole lot of things on that. Like it's not just for reporting not nice things happening. It's mainly for school related events and classes and changes of dates and things for those type of affairs. So
yeah,
the security thing or the safety thing, I'm sure is a portion of it, but predominantly theirs is more academic related.
Yeah,
right.
So you said you guys meet once a month and go over these tips. Is that right?
We do. If there are that we end up needing to pay out, that gets taken care of on our monthly business meeting. Most of the time, however, we're doing other things, such as looking at upcoming events and where we need to be here and where we need to be there, and what do we anticipate is going to be our audience. We are doing other things such as, Sergeant Benson there developed a very nice, about a 20 or 25 minute PowerPoint presentation. And we are using that particular platform to address different groups throughout the community. Church groups, business groups. We don't care. We'll talk to anybody and everybody about Crimestoppers. We've been using that particular platform to do so, and it works out pretty good.
Church groups, whatever, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, positively. Actually, the police department here in Shelby is doing a quarterly community type meeting at different locations. As far as going back to our what we're doing at monthly meetings, that's pretty much what we're doing is how can we get our name out here some more and what's working for us. And we have 15 volunteer board members that every one of them are go-getters. We've got some very, very fine people on board right now, and everybody's got the same desire to see it be successful. And 3 different committees that we're kind of broken down into, and everybody's doing a heck of a good job on it. And we're real proud of it.
How many people are on Crime Stoppers here in Cleveland County right now?
We have 15 board seats.
Oh, wow. A lot of participation then.
There is. And actually, we need the help with that. So I would encourage anybody that's interested to make an application to us. They can do that very easily by emailing us, and I can give you that whenever you'd like that particular email address. But my goal as the chairman of Cleveland County Crimestoppers is to have far more applicants than I have board seats available.
Yeah.
We're all volunteers, and things happen in people's lives, and sometimes they have to leave for whatever reason, and we understand that completely. For, like I say, we all got families, we all got different things going on in our lives. So, if we have a group of applicants that have gone through the vetting process and are interested in coming aboard to see how it works and potentially be elected onto the board, we would absolutely appreciate them going ahead and filling out an application and get it sent to us.
Does the applicant need a law enforcement background or anything, or can it be any John Doe off the street?
Absolutely do not need any background on it. We do want people to be residents of Cleveland County and be at least 18 years of age.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who are currently working. We've got retired people. We've got law enforcement moms that are on the board. We've got three police officers who are on our board of directors. Actually 4 because of Brad. He's I always forget. I don't know why, but mainly because Brad's been with us since the get-go. Actually, there's 4. We've got a wide variety of people that are on the board, and it helps because everybody's got a little bit of something that they're good at, and it's shining through right now.
Bring a little bit of everything to the table.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. And we can't stress enough that Crime Stoppers is completely anonymous.
Absolutely correct.
Anybody can leave a tip and their information will not be released.
We don't even have the information to release it. That's the nice thing about this whole program.
Great point.
Like Sergeant Benson had mentioned that known by tips or number. That's it. We have no information to provide.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing I would like to add to that, we do stress to whenever we're out at events and we're telling them about Crime Stoppers, we do inform them that Crime Stoppers is not a substitute for 911.
Ooh.
Because we've had a few tips that come in previously where tipsters will submit information that should be handled through 911. The good thing about the P3 tip system, there's an automatic response that's sent to each tipster as soon as they submit their information. In the automated response, it tells them that this is not 911. So if it is an emergency, contact local law enforcement for assistance.
Even better.
So we stress that this is not a substitute for 911.
Yeah, if you see Joe shooting his neighbor in the yard, don't put in a Crime Stopper tip trying to get some money. Call 911. Let's get this man some help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guys, this is awesome. Is there anything else you want to tell us about Crime Stoppers?
Anything we haven't asked, you want to get out there, just preach it. We ready to listen.
Yeah.
Well, as I mentioned, you can certainly email us at stoppers.c@yahoo.com. Stoppers.c@yahoo.com. You can do that for generalized questions. You can request an application, get that online, and can be completed online, sent right back to us. So that that avenue is certainly out there for anybody to use. And as I said, we are full right now. As far as board seats, that doesn't mean that things can't change in the near future. You never know.
Mhm.
So we appreciate any fresh applications, and we promise it's fun. We have a good time. There's a lot of stuff that we do that is very important and needed, and you will spend some time volunteering. But it's very rewarding, and I think, as I said, our current board of directors are very much aware of all of that, and everybody gets out and helps out, and we got a good system going.
Yeah.
Sounds like it, yeah.
So it all boils down to, if you know something or see something, say something.
Or take something.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm enjoying this, guys. This is awesome, because I didn't know anything about Crimestoppers. You could just leave a tip, and all the anonymous part of it, and
right.
how it worked. That's amazing. Well, guys, we certainly appreciate you coming on the show and telling us a little bit more about Crimestoppers, and we will certainly get your links and everything on our socials and the QR codes and all that stuff, and get the information out there to our listeners. Not for just Cleveland County, but I mean, we're listened all over the country and the world, and people can know more about how it works, and that knowing they can actually help in some way if they know something.
Anonymously.
Yes, anonymously, of course.
Well, I do appreciate that. Now, here locally, we've got some pretty. Look, Gaston County's got a program through the P3.
Yes,
Yeah.
surrounding counties, they're starting to adapt to the new way of handling tips through the P3 tips. So
Lincoln County, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys are advanced in pushing the agenda, and they're kind of catching on to what you guys are doing and seeing how it's such a great method to join in, huh?
yes, sir.
Man,
That's awesome.
absolutely. Good to be a part of Cleveland County right here, ain't it?
That's for sure, yeah.
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for coming on the show and telling us a little bit more about Crimestoppers.
All right, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Anytime, man. You got something to say, let us know. We'd be glad to get you back on.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, have a great day.
Thank you, guys.
You too.
All right, Dale, we want to thank Jeff Yates and Brad Benson from Cleveland County Crimestoppers. That's local right here to us. We want to thank him again for coming on the show, man.
Yeah, it was very informative.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff I didn't know.
Yeah, going into it, I didn't know.
And
Didn't know how they work.
great guys seem to be. Love to meet them sometime.
And I cannot stress this enough, that it is totally anonymous to leave a tip.
Right.
Yeah. So if you see something, say something.
Say something, text something, whatever.
Let somebody know.
Let somebody know.
Yes.
Get the word out.
Yeah.
Let's shut this stuff down.
Stop this crime.
Might make a buck or two on top of that.
That's right.
I think the important part is to, get stuff cleared up. But, if you can get rewarded today, that's just something on top, right?
Yeah, it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, bud, we're going to get out of here, man.
All right, let's do it.
We want everyone to be safe. Please be careful and always be aware of your surroundings.
Because the next episode could be about you.
This is the Crack House Chronicles.